Welcome to The Chatter, your end of the week ear candy for what to eat, drink, see, and do in Richmond, Virginia, right damn now.
The Richmond experience is independently owned and created by locals, us, for locals, you. From recent openings and the latest trends to time-tested traditions and hidden gems, we're here to help you experience the very best that RVA has to offer.
Hi, I'm Paige, RVAX owner and chief marketing officer. I'm the face you see in front of the scenes on Instagram and TikTok, taking you to all the latest and greatest hotspots around town.
And I'm Kelsey, RVAX owner and editor-in-chief, working behind the scenes on your Wednesday and Thursday newsletters, the Weekly Insider and the Weekender, and City Guides.
Hey, Kels.
Hi, Paige. How are you?
I'm good. It's a Monday, which we don't normally record on a Monday.
Right. We're kind of like these past couple of weeks have been switching things all around, but we have a very special guest with us, so we are going with a Monday this time.
Yeah, we love it. We love when we have guests.
I
So
know they're some of my favorites, some of our audience favorites. I'll go ahead and give an introduction and then we will get talking.
absolutely.
So our guest this week is Nate Wise. He is the Communications and Public Relations Manager at SOAR365, a local nonprofit that supports individuals with disabilities and their families through a wide range of services, including pediatric therapy, day support programs, employment and job training, respite care, an award-winning playground, Park 365, and summer camp and more. The organization serves people of all ages with programs and services aimed at living out its mission to create life-fulfilling opportunities for individuals with disabilities. And in a city that values inclusion, innovation, and compassion, SOAR 365 is a wonderful example of what it looks like to invest in people and create opportunities for everyone to thrive. Nate, welcome.
Thanks for having me, and thank you for recording on a Monday. I know exactly how you feel, getting things done on a Monday after a nice weekend, but I'm thrilled to be here with you this morning.
Yes, we're so excited, especially in this time of year too, where it's like we're easing out of summer and now into fall. And it's like,
Absolutely.
what day is it?
I know. We make it work.
Yeah, it'll be fine. But we're so excited to have you. I was saying right before we pushed record that I, as a parent, am very familiar with the Park 365, but I am so excited to hear more about the organization in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. You touched on a lot of really important factors that make SOAR 365 so special. And so, a lot of the families in the Richmond area are familiar with Park 365, um, which is located off of Saunders Avenue over near the Rosedale neighborhood. I always tell people it's kind of near the Diamond, the baseball stadium.
Mhm.
But yeah, a lot of people visit that. It's free and open to the public every day of the week, almost every day of the year. But what people don't always realize is that right next door, there's a building where a lot of other things are going on. And that is where I come in, right? So, as our communications and PR manager, I'm always trying to educate people on what's going on in that building and some of our other locations. And that does include pediatric therapy, as you mentioned. So, we serve children from birth to 36 months with anything from physical, occupational therapy, all of the above in that sense. That we have a wonderful pediatric therapy staff. Then we have adult day support, where people who have disabilities but maybe aren't in a place where they can work full time or even part time have a place to go and socialize and learn life skills and all kinds of things, right? So we're always happy to see them coming in. Adult day support takes place in that Saunders building, but also in the Staples Mill area, and also at our Camp Baker location, which we'll touch on a little bit as well. And then beyond that, we have, like you said, employment services. And I think this is something that, touches a lot of lives in our community, even when they don't realize it. Um, we help employ people with disabilities both via government contracts and things like that. So the Defense Supply Center of Richmond, a ton of the grounds maintenance and janitorial staff are people with disabilities that we employ. But we also help place people in jobs in the community where we partner with local businesses that are willing to give people an opportunity. And I think sometimes they find that, and oftentimes they find that these are folks who have a passion to contribute, just want the chance to show that they're capable of producing and being productive members of our community. And that includes, great partners like the YMCA, Walgreens, smaller businesses like RVA Goats and Honey is a really cool one where we have somebody out there working with the animals and things like that. So there's all kinds of different businesses. And then, of course, I touched on our summer camp. We just finished up our summer camp for 2025. That takes place out in Chesterfield County. And that's 10 weeks every year. It's kind of the reverse of what you would think. There's 8 weeks for adults only, and then 2 weeks for children. But it gives people with disabilities the opportunity to experience a traditional summer camp where there probably were not very many opportunities to do so in their lives before, because we have staff there that are tending specifically to their medical needs. They're able to do just about everything you would think. They're in boats, they're going fishing, they're going horseback riding. We put on a talent show. They put on a talent show, the campers, every Thursday, which is always special. And so, yeah, I know that's a lot, but we do a lot, right? And SOAR365, we keep busy, and we help over 2,000 people and their families in any given year. We've been around since 1954, so you can do the math on how we've grown and all the people we've helped, and the mission continues every day. We're trying to up those numbers.
Oh, I love that so much. That it was a great amount of information that I definitely was not aware of before. So I'm happy to know that. And I know with Paige's background in this space in education, it's very near and dear to your heart too.
Yes, I was a former special ed teacher.
Right.
And yeah, I love just hearing all the organizations that help specifically lift up that community, because we definitely need it. Especially now, like we were very close with Tablespoons Bakery. I'm sure you were
Yes,
familiar with them and their
absolutely.
whole mission. And now that that's gone, it's just like we need these organizations more than ever. So, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a tough time, whether you're paying attention to the news or not. Some recent changes have made it harder for certain nonprofits to operate the same that they were a year, 2 years ago. And that comes down to the things we always ask people right? So that becomes donations, and that's easy for some and hard for others. And every nonprofit in the city completely understands that. But financial donations do go a long way into making sure that these programs and services continue. And then, of course, donating not money, but time and volunteering. And, we take on volunteers in all capacities of our organization, whether it's, spending time with our program participants or helping beautify, Camp Baker and Park 365 spaces with, mulching and trimming bushes and all the above that you can think of. And so, yeah, I mean, one of the really special things about the nonprofit space here in Richmond, I've been here for about a year and a half now, and it became immediately apparent to me how willing everyone is to help each other out. I think there's no competition in this space. I think whether it's us or the friendship circle or Autism Society or
Mhm.
anybody, I think Sportable is one that's near and dear to my heart. I have a sports background, so everybody's willing to help each other out. Go to each other's events, promote them, and do whatever it takes to help the community that we're all trying to touch and as we say, create life fulfilling opportunities for.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing about this space now that Kelsey and I are in this role, all the nonprofits that we try and work with or donate or volunteer. And so it is just learning. And I know all of those nonprofits. And so it is
Yeah,
cool how everybody works together to lift everybody up. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
absolutely.
especially appreciate people are always looking for ways to participate. And I think, of course, with a lot of things, financial stuff is a little tricky right now, but I
Of course.
always appreciate that, like, you can donate things like just a little TLC. So that's equally as helpful.
Like many things in life, a little bit can go a long way,
Totally.
and anybody has the chance to make a difference. And it can be hard with everything going on in your life, work, family, travel, whatever it is. um I'm lucky to work full time for a nonprofit, and even if I don't always, doing communications work, don't always work directly with participants, I'm around them every day, and the people we're able to help in some capacity, and just knowing that somebody out there does care and does want to help them succeed. I don't have anybody in my direct family in need of these services right now, but getting to know other families who do and have gone years maybe without that help, and I've looked for the right fit, the right people who have the capability to help them, that's where SOAR365 can come in for a lot of people. And so, I'm sure we'll touch on this later, but always do your research, try to find more information about us and other organizations that we touched on, and see if there's a way to help you, and your family members.
I think it's also like a great point too, where it's like, even if you don't have somebody directly like in your immediate circle, it's good to be out in the community and see that everybody's got a different situation going on. So I think it's a really good way to broaden your own perspective, which I think is one reason, especially, that I do love the park of it all, because I feel like it's a very smart way to get just everybody in the community over into a similar place. Is that sort of, as you were explaining all the stuff that you guys do in that building and elsewhere, is that kind of where the idea of the connected park comes from, where it's like it's a communal space, but it also brings awareness to the overall organization as well? Or how did that sort of develop?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Actually, August 2025 is 10 years since the park opened, which is
Wow.
crazy. When it first opened, it was called Arc Park. So some of our listeners and viewers may have heard of Arc Park first. Now it's Park 365, of course. And that came with our rebranding a few years back. But yeah, I think the general idea is that we as an organization wanted to provide a space where everybody could come together, could interact, could have a safe place to play and grow. And we mentioned that we've been lucky enough to win some awards and get some recognition for that. We were recently voted the best play space or best playground in Richmond for the fourth straight year in Richmond Magazine, which is amazing. And I think a lot of that just comes from having accessible spaces in the park, having a safe space. It's fenced in. I hear a lot that that's a huge deal for parents, that
Huge.
it's fenced in and gated, which is funny. I don't have kids yet, but I'm sure I'll experience that someday. But we have a wheelchair accessible treehouse. We have some water features. We have, all kinds of the classic swings and jungle gym and everything that you would expect. There's a small basketball court in the back, but at the end of the day, it's the thing we do most that everyone in the community can be a part of, because it is not just for people with disabilities or families with someone with disabilities. Everybody's out there, everybody's enjoying it. And so, to your point, that helps us educate people and reach people we might not have without it. And so there's signage in the park, and we encourage you to check that out when you're visiting. That teaches you about some of the things I'm touching on and the rest of the organization. And then, of course, we host some events there from time to time. The Ladybug Fund wine tasting and silent auction happens every year. It's mostly inside, but some of it goes out into the park area. And then each year we host summer series there, which is 2 or 3 dates in the summer. We had it twice this summer, where we have food truck, live DJ, face painting. We had a petting zoo one day, all kinds of stuff. That's done for 2025, but hopefully we'll be back in 2026 and more people can join us. But it's just a great spot. I think everybody enjoys coming, playing. Everybody has fond memories of going down the slide as a kid. But at the end of the day, this makes it accessible for more people.
And I think it's good to like incorporate something like that, where it's like you've got little ones in the area that you're starting out, at least being around this type of environment. I think that's so smart. That's great.
Yeah, we recently did a story. We have a column called Stories from Park 365 with Richmond Family Magazine. You guys may know the team over there. But we had a little one who started in our pediatric therapy program when they were prematurely born. And now that family has 3 children, and they live nearby, and they walk over and play at park all the time. And part of that pediatric therapy journey was learning how to be active and move in the correct way and things like that. And our staff use the park, right outside for some of that stuff. So it's cool seeing, from being in need of one service to just being able to enjoy, another offering. And those kinds of things are what, we love to see.
This episode of The Chatter is powered by Cassie Lane. I actually just went in for a consult there, and I have to say, I love the whole experience. The expert advice and direction I got made me feel so confident about what's right for me. Cassie Lane isn't your average med spa, it's a full medical practice. Every treatment, Botox, fillers, lasers, hormone therapy, weight loss programs, is done by licensed medical professionals with years of training and experience. What I appreciated most is how personal the approach is. There's no one-size-fits-all. They really listened, got to know my goals, and put together a plan that felt tailored just for me. The results they focus on are subtle, natural, and above all, safe. So if you've been thinking about making a change, consider this your invitation to book a consultation. They'll walk you through everything. No pressure, just real expertise. Head to CassieLane.com to get started and boost your confidence today. Well, let's kind of get into some of your suggestions for what to eat, drink, see, and do in Richmond. So this is a little off of the nonprofit side, but what do you recommend our listeners eat?
Yeah, absolutely. I can still make connections to our nonprofit and our
Oh
mission,
yeah, I'm
things like
sure.
that. I'm good at that. But yeah, so for eat, we wanted to give a shout out to Natalie's Taste of Lebanon, and this is a restaurant in the city that has also made it, part of their mission to help employ people with disabilities. And it all started when the founder's daughter graduated from a culinary school and needed a place to work, and their family saw it fit to give that opportunity, and it's worked out great. Tablespoon's Bakery, who you mentioned earlier, was another example of this, where they were in the culinary food space in our city, and we're also able to give people with disabilities a chance to work and show what they can do. And Natalie's is doing that right now. So yeah, that's my first suggestion.
Oh, I love to hear that.
I love that too. Is there a particular dish or something that you like to get over there?
Oh, that's such a good, I think it's like I don't even know, I should know how to say this. Meza or meze is kind of their specialty. I'm big into their falafel, of course, is like a classic. My wife would be probably the first person to recommend a cheese board at any restaurant or winery or anything like that. That is very good there. But yeah, there's lots of stuff in it. I think if you have kind of a what's the right word? A conservative palate. I think it's a good spot to go and try some new things. And so obviously I mentioned a couple, maybe it's on the tamer end. But there's lots of things that maybe you've never had before that would be a great time to try them for the first time.
I really need to go over there because I've been to the one in the old location in Short Pump. I was
Yeah.
quite often because
Oh,
it is
really?
delicious. Yeah. It's
Yeah. I think they moved over. What was it? 2022, 23, something like that.
yeah.
But yeah, everybody should get out there and support. That'd be great.
Does the cheese plate track for you too, Paige?
I don't know if I've ever gotten a cheese plate, to be honest with you. I usually go with like the baba ganoush and like the pitas and the dips, and I usually probably get like a sandwich. Yeah. Oh,
All
so
great
good.
options.
Yeah.
And it looks like too, from poking around their website, they've got a market opening this month also on August 20th. So by the time people hear this, go check that
It'll
out
be
too.
open. Yeah, absolutely. Perfect.
Amazing. Okay, and then how about for drink?
Yeah, so I am a big coffee guy. I drink coffee, of course, every morning. I make a pot. Unfortunately, I also dabble in the afternoons when I probably should be done with it. But I wanted to give a shout out to Richmond Coffee Company. They definitely don't know I'm doing this, but I've met them at a couple events that I've been to around the city, and they specialize in canned, iced coffees and things like that. So we have awesome. We're very lucky to have a great culture of cafes and different coffee bars around the city, but they're doing, kind of the on the go thing, and they're relatively new. I think they started just over a year ago. But I've gotten the opportunity to try their stuff at the Markel Corporate Run out of Innsbruck that some of our listeners, I'm sure, have taken part in. And I know they have, classic, mocha, caramel, vanilla, latte type drinks, things like that. I live out in Midlothian personally, and there's a gas station nearby that sells it. So if we're heading out of town, we might grab, a can or something like that, drink it on the go. But yeah, Richmond Coffee Company, I think there's always room for a little more coffee in our lives, and they're getting my shout out.
Yeah, I see that they have them like even at Yellow Umbrella. I love the option to sip something local instead of, picking up that Starbucks drink.
Exactly. It's so tempting. I'm just as bad about it as, I'll just, I have money on my Starbucks app already. Let me just swing by the drive-through. But yeah, it's nice to support local small business, that kind of thing. So
Oh no, I'm just like any chance you get. I try. I try my hardest. All right, and then what's next for C? I love this.
yes, so for C, I am a huge movie person. I love the movies. I watch them all the time. It's just my escape, and it always has been. Um, And so for my C, I want to encourage people to go see movies in the theater. I
Uh-huh.
think it has become more and more and more prevalent, and understandably so, to wait for that release to come home. Oh, it'll just be on Netflix eventually or whatever it is. But our movie theaters are an institution in a lot of towns around here, whether it's
Mhm.
Richmond or the surrounding area or beyond. And I have so many great memories of going to the theater with my parents and connecting with them, meeting friends in high school at the mall and going to see a movie. You know, we don't necessarily have those classic midnight premieres anymore like we used to be able to do every once in a while. But, you know, I think that there's so many theaters in the city, you know, whether it's the Bow Tie going under their new renovations and being better than ever. My wife and I really enjoy going down to the Stony Point Fashion Park area and hitting up the CinéBistro and maybe getting a dinner beforehand or a drink during the movie or whatever it might be. And then we have all the chains, the Regals and the AMC's of the world. But the point is, I think going to see a movie is a communal experience and a way for people to go laugh at a comedy or cry at a drama or cheer at an action movie. And it's a different experience than sitting on your couch, scrolling your phone the entire time, and at the end being like, I think that was good, but I didn't even pay attention. And so this is my rant on, I do it, and I do it too. I mean, I'm guilty as anybody, but I try to go and support, and so movie theaters need your support. uh the people who are the artists who are making these movies need your support, and every once in a while go out and if it's something big enough for you to go see, I say check it out at the theater.
Surprisingly enough, I'm going tonight.
Oh, what are you going to see?
Yeah, so Bowtie wants us to come in to check out the new renovations. And so
Yeah,
um I'm getting out of my comfort zone and I'm seeing a scary movie because I guess like on Rotten Tomatoes it's like really like high and
I have a
Holly
guess at what this is.
what
Yeah,
is what it's
is it
called
Weapons?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And Holly, my wife, loves scary movies, and I'm like, okay, I'll just close my eye. But I also feel you with the movie theater. It was my first job working at a movie theater.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved it. I had to wear a bow tie. It was Paramount Cinemas, which Paramount Cinemas isn't even around anymore. It was probably bought by Regal, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are near and dear to my heart as well. But I haven't seen a movie in a minute. So
Well,
I'm
tonight's the night.
yep, tonight's the night. I'm terrified. I'm never going to sleep again.
I know. I've heard it's scary, but I've heard it's very good. I have not seen that one yet. I think the last couple I saw in theaters were like Superman and The
Yeah,
Materialists and
yeah.
things like that. I forgot to mention the Byrd Theater, of course, one
Oh,
of
yeah,
our
yeah,
gems. So definitely check out Byrd and Carytown. But yeah, there's lots to see. It's been a good summer for us in terms of movies, and yeah, go check some. Whether it's scary as that one or not, is up to you. But
yeah. I know. I always just say the world's scary enough. Why would I need to watch a scary movie? Just wake up. But it's
very
for the
fair.
life. Yeah.
I respect it. My wife took me to see, because she is a diehard, the Jonas Brothers down in Virginia Beach on Friday night. I'm
Okay.
not a Joe Bro fan necessarily, but I had fun. I had a lot of fun, actually.
Well, I also got Holly Young Jeezy tickets on Friday as well,
Whoa!
and I was very much out of my comfort zone. And she was she had the time of her life.
Marriage is all about. And now, wait a minute, this is going to get me on a completely different tangent, but Paige and I are huge Hanson fans. Didn't they have a surprise blip in that
Yes,
show?
yes, they did. Yes, they
They
did. And
did?
I surprised my wife by borrowing a Jonas Brothers T-shirt from a friend, and I put it on last second before we left, and she couldn't believe it. So I wore that. So I was a grown man with, I think, probably teenage age Jonas Brothers on my shirt, but that's okay. But yes, Hanson made an appearance.
Oh my
Frankie
gosh.
Jonas, their younger brother, popped out and did some an opening act. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a
Oh
really
my
good time.
gosh. I'm going to make this into an hour episode if I don't move us on, but we'll
Fair.
talk more after we wrap
Yeah,
things
yeah.
up.
We'll connect.
For due, what are we doing for due?
Oh my gosh. Well, this is obvious, right? I think anybody who's been listening knows that I'm going to shout out again Park 365. I want everybody to find spaces where they feel safe, feel comfortable, can be with their friends. We open it up for birthday party reservations, event reservations, stuff like that too. So that's important to mention that, through our website or by calling, you can reserve spaces in there. I mentioned our summer series events and things like that. And then also, I wanted to give a shout out to one more event that we have coming up. It's not at Park, but we have, through what we call the Next Generation Council, which is young professionals from the community who come together and volunteer with us, grow, in their leadership and network. We have their leadership workshop coming up on September 20th. That is a Saturday morning from 10 to noon. But it is both virtual and in person. So, whether you are a family and you can come to Park 365, or you're, in the business side of things and just want a way to connect, that leadership workshop would be a great way to get introduced to the organization as well. But yeah, those couple of things and everything else we mentioned at the top of the show are great ways to get involved. And yeah, we'd appreciate your support.
Well, where can folks go to learn more?
Absolutely. So SOAR365.org, so SOAR365.org is our website. That's going to be your central hub for everything. We have information about all of our programs, all of our events, all kinds of stories about, the work we're doing and the people that we work with. And then we're active on social media. So our primary spots are Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then the occasional YouTube. So follow us. You'll be able to find us by searching SOAR365 on any of those. We would love to connect with you on there.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Well, thank you so much, Nate. We had a pleasure talking with you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. Anytime I can chat with you ladies is a good day. It made my Monday much better. So thank you very much.
Great. Thanks so much, Nate.
So thanks for listening, Richmond. And by the way, there's more where that came from. Joining the Richmond experience as a member is the best way to stay in the know about what's going on in RVA.
Not to worry, we refuse to sell your info or bombard you with ads, but we do charge a small annual membership fee of $39 a year to fund our team so we can keep doing this awesome work. Plus, a portion of each annual membership purchased for the Richmond experience goes to rotating nonprofits each month. That's like $1 per week to get an all-access pass to the best of RVA and lift up local orgs. It's a really, really good deal, friends. And listen, what are friends for anyway? Use code Chatter to get $10 off your first year subscription.
Give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at The Richmond Experience, and on Instagram at The Chatter and RVA too. And if you enjoyed this episode, send it to your buds and rate, review, and subscribe.
And if you want to keep up with each of us, you can find me at Kelsey Heinz is Typing on Instagram.
And me, Sips and Trips with Paige on Instagram.
Chat with you next week, RVA.